ship managing and internal manager if I'm not doing the interns?
Well, I'm a journalist. I've been working here for over 5 years now, so I'm here to interview as well, just to get a good view of what you want and why you want it actually. Just to be a great help to him.
Sometimes for me, but that we will see.
Well, nice to meet you. So, of course you came here for a job, and can you explain more about why you were attracted to your job? Like, you saw a job application, and how did it caught your eye? Because there are a lot of jobs out there, of course.
Well, I always wanted to work for something that would make the world a better place, to contribute to, making the world a better place. And Greenpeace is, in my opinion, one of those organizations that really works towards a target like that. They really want to make the environment better, they want to help animals, but also people. And I'm really attracted to that because, it contributes to a better purpose.
I can see you did your homework on us. This is great. You say they're writing about animals, people, lots of different cases, obviously. And what case, like, what kind of direction would you want to go in with writing? Because there are so many things you can write about. Are you like, oh, I can write about anything, or do you want more specific subjects you want to write on that interest you?
Well, I love to write about a wide variety of subjects, but I really have a passion for animals, but I also really would like to write about environmental or relief causes.
Right, you know, we get a lot of interviews today, and a lot of people who come here with actually quite the same statement: one better place, love animals, and I'm hearing it like 10 times already, and probably 20 more times. So can you please make it a little bit stronger, convince me? Why Greenpeace? Why just not donate money to a good thing about animals? Why do you want to work for Greenpeace, and why are you good for us?
Well, why I want to work for Greenpeace specifically is because Greenpeace often focuses on subjects other organizations don't really focus on. For example, the bees, they are dying, obviously, and you have a campaign for that. I don't see a lot of other organizations do that. For example, World Animal Protection, they don't focus that much on those kind of things, because bees is not only that you want to have the bees populations grow, you realize that, with bees disappearing, there will a lot of other things will disappear, like coffee, those kind of things. It will be bad for the environment, and that's one of the things Greenpeace focuses on, in contrary to, for example, World Animal Protection. So that's why Greenpeace really caught my eye.
Yeah, I can see you're really close to the environment. You really care about it as well, which is really good, of course, because if you don't care about the environment, why are you
gonna do
it?
it?
Exactly. That's good in this job, because obviously you have to go out in the field, you have to care about the environment. Those are just some things that you need to be doing here. And because you will be going in the field if you get this job. And have you been working in the field before?
Yes, well, I've worked as a volunteer at animal shelter, but we also go out to ask for support from people, for example. But we also do a few campaigns, like to other people of the animal shelters that are full, for example, or that you have to adopt and don't shop, those kind of things. So I've been working in the field a lot, and I love it as well. I think a combination between desk work, for sitting behind a desk, and also going out into the field is actually really refreshing. So that's something I'm striving for.
And about that, I'm really just someone who you always see behind a desk, like 24/7. Every time we meet, she thinks I'm boring, actually.
Yeah.
But
I'm the field person.
She's the field person, I'm the desk person, and but I really love my job. She probably loves her job. But what about you? What's your opinion about desk and field? What do you like to do most?
Well, I think a combination is really what I would love most, because behind a desk, I just want to experience different kind of situations, and behind the desk you can research a lot, and you can write about a lot of different kinds of stuff. But if you go out in the field, you actually get to meet people, and you get to hear their opinions. Sometimes you hear things you don't read on the internet, for example, or you don't read on books. And when you go out in the field, it's just, it can be more exciting, of course, but you also just get to know a lot more. You get to hear stories. You get to see people doing work, see them in action. That's something you don't really experience behind the desk, but I think a combination would really be the best.
So you're actually looking for stories that haven't been told yet? Because of course you can find a lot of the internet.
Yes, I just want
Yeah.
to individually
Yeah.
want to meet person and hear their stories, not just what people say on the internet when they write their email and support a campaign. I want to know why they support those campaigns or why they think the bee shouldn't die out, those kind of things. Not just the logical facts you find on the internet.
Alright, I have actually a really fun question for you. It's about taming. And if you had to choose to tame either a goat or sheep, what kind of animal do you want to tame between them?
Well, I'm gonna be biased and say my favorite animal is a goat, so no, but I think a sheep is kind of, they're a lot more, they focus a lot more on being in a flock, and I think I'm really to support individuality, so I would tame a goat.
Do you have more to say about the goat maybe, instead of the sheep? Why?
Well, I think in a goat, I mean, when I see goats, they can do well on their own, but they can also do well in a group, like in a family or a team, or just with other goats they don't know. I mean, I don't know if goat knows other goats, of course, but I think that's important. Also in the work scenario, I need to be able to work individually, but also in a team. So that's why I would say goat.
Alright. I have a question for you, which is like a situation sketch. What would you do if someone called the newsroom, so you're in the newsroom at that moment, and they would say that there's an explosion in a nearby town? And it doesn't matter if you're on duty or not, that's your call how you're going to operate in that situation. What will you do if that happens? So there's an explosion in a nearby town.
Well, it really depends on if I'm on duty or not, but I'm going to take the example that I'm off duty. I would go to help, but I'm still a journalist at heart, even when I'm here or out on the streets getting coffee from Starbucks, those kind of things. I'm always analyzing everything around me and observing. So I would go there to help, of course, as volunteer. But also I would hear stories from people and experience how how they're being helped, those kind of things. So I always can keep in mind from when I get back to work. I can say, well, I did do a little bit of observing, so I could write a piece about it, or just get different kind of experience for those kind of things.
Alright, so you talk about journalism, your love for animals, your standpoint from Greenpeace. I really like all those things. But what I really want to ask you, in 10 years from now, how do you see yourself? What are you doing?
Well, I would still love to be working for an organization such as Greenpeace, because, just contributing to a better place, of course. I wouldn't see myself as a junior journalist anymore, obviously, but I would love to work in the journalism sector. Maybe a bit more experienced stuff, like I would go traveling, for example, or maybe even a more desk-related job, just that I can deepen into the work and that I can enhance my skills.
Yeah, because if you're, you say you don't want to, of course you're growing and you're not going to be a junior journalist anymore, and you're going to be traveling, that's what I do a lot. What you have to take into account for is that you're working on weekends and evenings sometimes. There's like no stopping the job at some point, and it could be bad, but it also can be a big advantage. How do you feel about working those evenings and weekends? You won't do it at the start, of course, but you know how the process goes and you start working evenings and weekends. How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't object because, like I said before, I'm a journalist at heart. I'm always working, for example. So, and eventually it also depends on whether you're working at the office, because you can also work at home a little. I mean, that's what Greenpeace always says. But I think, evenings and weekends, if you do something that you love, I think it doesn't matter that you put some little more time in sometimes.
So because I'm guessing you're okay with traveling abroad.
I always travel with public transport. So.
Okay.
Alright. Actually, it's almost the next participant who wants to walk in, so I'll keep it brief. I think I've asked enough. Do you have any questions?
Maybe one more thing.
Sure.
Because of course you know a lot about Greenpeace, as we heard. But what kind of articles do you like best, and what kind of articles do you want to be improved? Like how could we improve our articles and subjects, and which articles are like, whoa, these are really good and these attract me to read?
Well, it's funny because at my school we were researching for a project about palm oil industries, and you published an article about palm oil protests against IOI recently.
Right.
So that was really interesting, and I think what's good is that you always you have an open view on different kind of things. But maybe what could be better is that you get more opinions from more people, or you just invest in more different kinds of sides from a story instead of one or two sides.
That's actually a really good tip. Did you write it down? Yeah, it's really it's indeed you have to have an open view, and that's also people were looking for, because not everyone has it. It's not really something that can be taught really easily, so mainly looking for people who already have it.
Yeah,
So that's really good that you show that, because that shows that you know that you have to be
Yeah, and it's not always you have a few articles where it's already in place, so it's not like
Yeah,
you never
exactly.
do it, but
Yeah.
It makes everything very interesting indeed. Really, we have to cut it short now. Just a couple of seconds and minutes left. Do you have any questions maybe? Maybe things we can answer?
Yeah.
well, we already agreed upon a journalist going out into the field, of course. But my question was, as a junior journalist, what kind of field work can I expect really?
Mainly we have two teams, so I'm from the higher up journalists. It sounds really bad, but you have the juniors, and we are kind of guiding the journalists. So sometimes if we go abroad, we won't take you as much, but if let's say if it's about like Belgium or something, then it's okay. You would do mainly the first 2 months. You would do desk research just to get familiar with your environment,
Yes.
working environment, the people is also very, because we're very close with our entire team. And then you're going to experience more stuff in the field. So you're going out with me, for example. We're going to give you little assignments and see how those goes. And as more as you grow into the desk in the field and you feel more comfortable with it, you go abroad more. So it's like a boundary that keeps expanding and expanding. So at some point you're like, oh, we'll be like, oh yeah, we have an assignment and it's in America. Are you okay with that? We always discuss if we're okay with it. And then we just let you go if you're okay with it. So it could extend really fast, or in longer time.
And with going abroad, like really far, as for example the United States, is it taken care of, or do you have to do it yourself?
We have a team for that.
We have a team for that.
We have him for that.
Oh, wow.
He does that sometimes as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think you will just start on the Meister division first for the first 6 months.
Yeah.
I will teach you everything I've got with desk research, very important. And after we see your growth, and after the 6-month trials, I guess, we give you the yes or no if you can go to further abroad, or just the Belgian stuff or the Dutch stuff.
And it's also when you make connections with people in other countries.
Yeah,
At some point you're like, I don't really need the support only on a few points, because you have connections and you can stay there, but you also have an entire team who can take care of it. Of course, we support individuals and give that extra push. Extra
Yes,
boost.
I hope we've given you enough information. You indeed gave us enough information,
Yeah.
so
That's nice.
we will just wait another 20 more people, and you get an answer at the end of next week.
Okay,
if you are
great.
hired
I
or
look
not.
forward to it.
We'll call you.
Yes,
I
so
look forward to it.
thank you very much for your time,
Thank you very much.
and have a nice day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Nice
too.
day.
Have a nice day. Goodbye.
Bye.